Welcome back to Anfield Wire. Today, we're diving into everything about Ibrahima Konate's contract, Liverpool transfers, and the latest squad updates. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a Reds update. Everything we know about Ibrahima Konate contract as Real Madrid still in race. Liverpool defender Ibrahima Konate is at a crossroads in his career and must decide whether to continue with the Reds or seek a new challenge elsewhere. Ibrahima Konate's Liverpool future remains up in the air, ahead of the expiry of his current contract at the end of the season. Konate remains on the same terms he signed upon joining Liverpool in 2021. And, as things stand, he will be able to join a new club on a free transfer in the summer. Konate has been free to sign a pre-contract agreement with clubs outside of the English league system since New Year's Day, but that has not yet happened. The Frenchman will want a significant pay rise wherever he is playing next season, and that is understandable considering his heightened standing in the game. Konate established himself as a first-choice pick in Liverpool's defense at the start of last season, forging an important partnership with Reds captain Virgil van Dijk. Arne Slot revealed earlier this month that talks are being held with Konate over a contract renewal at Anfield. "We are in talks with him, so that tells you what we want," Slot said. "It's clear we would like him to stay, but negotiations are ongoing, so let's see where that ends. We wouldn't be in negotiations if we didn't want him to stay," Slot added. "He has had a very good partnership with Virgil since I've been here and, just like Virgil, he has always been fit. Touch wood. These two are vital for us, not only because of the quality they have but because of the lack of options we have behind." Which clubs are interested in signing Konate? Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain are the two clubs that have been most heavily linked with a move for Konate, who is a Paris Saint-Germain supporter. It was reported earlier in the season that Konate's disappointing form at the start of the campaign had led Madrid to end its interest in the Frenchman, but it is now rumored that Madrid is still considering a move for the France international, a year on from signing Trent Alexander-Arnold in similar circumstances. What's Konate had to say? Konate has not had much to say on his contract talks with Liverpool, with his most recent comments coming during an international break toward the end of last year. "I've seen a lot of things," he said during a France press conference. "Liverpool have reportedly made me a new offer. I don't know where that information came from. My agents are still in discussions with Liverpool. I hope my decision will be made very soon so I can announce it." Later during the international break, Konate added, "It's difficult. We can't say everything because a lot of things are already being said in the media. Some of the things that I read, I'm like, oh la la, that puts me in a tight spot with Liverpool fans, and they don't even know all the ins and outs." Liverpool transfer news as Reds fall behind Chelsea in race to sign defender. The latest Liverpool transfer news and rumors as the Reds reportedly battle Chelsea for Murillo. While there is a fresh update on RB Leipzig winger Yen Diomande, Liverpool has reportedly fallen behind Chelsea in the race to sign Nottingham Forest star Murillo this summer. Murillo emerged as one of the most exciting young defenders in the Premier League last season, as Forest ended the campaign by qualifying for the Europa League. The 23-year-old, like Forest, is not enjoying as good a season this time around, but he remains a highly rated defender in the English top flight. Both Chelsea and Liverpool could be in the market for a new centre-back in the summer, and Football Insider reports that Chelsea is determined to beat Liverpool in the race to sign Murillo after missing out to the Reds on Jeremy Jacquet. Chelsea was widely reported to be the frontrunner to sign Jacquet during the January transfer window, but Liverpool ended up striking an agreement for the 19-year-old Frenchman to move to Anfield in the summer. Murillo will almost certainly leave Forest if the club is relegated to the Championship at the end of the season. Forest currently finds itself in 17th position in the standings and is on to its fourth permanent manager of the campaign. Meanwhile, Liverpool is reportedly best placed to win the race to sign Yen Diomande from RB Leipzig in the offseason. The 19-year-old forward has emerged as one of the Bundesliga's most exciting forwards this season, registering 9 goals and 6 assists in 24 appearances in all competitions. Team Talk reports that Liverpool, Manchester United and Arsenal are all keen on the youngster, while there is also interest from French club Paris Saint-Germain. Liverpool's interest is said to be at a more advanced stage than any of the other clubs that are interested in Diomande. Meanwhile, over the weekend, Diomande moved to clarify recent comments he made about Liverpool, after he suggested that it was his dream to play for the Reds. Speaking on a live stream in January, Diomande said, "I want to play at Anfield. I want to play for Liverpool. I'm a big fan of Liverpool. I'm a big fan of Liverpool because my father's dream is to see me play at Anfield. So that's my dream. You know, to fulfill my father's dream is a dream for me too." Diomande, though, has now claimed those quotes were taken out of context, saying, "People made it out to be my dream club, but first and foremost, it's my dad's favorite club. It was always his great wish to see me there someday because he loves the atmosphere at Anfield. He always raved about Steven Gerrard. I was too young to see him play. We didn't even have a TV at home for a long time. I have a lot of respect for Liverpool, but my dream club right now is Leipzig." West Ham wanted €15 million Liverpool star in January and may return in summer. Chiesa's Liverpool struggle raises summer exit talk. Federico Chiesa's Liverpool chapter has yet to find rhythm, and according to reporting credited to Calciomercato, patience on all sides is beginning to wear thin. What once felt like a clever market opportunity now carries the tone of a short-lived experiment, one that may quietly conclude when the transfer window reopens in June. Limited chances. Lingering doubts. Chiesa's outing in the 3-0 FA Cup win over Brighton represented his fifth start of the season. Opportunities have been scattered across competitions: Wolverhampton in the Premier League, Southampton and Crystal Palace in the League Cup, Barnsley in the FA Cup. Yet continuity has eluded him. Used as a false nine against Brighton, he ran a lot and made himself available to the team, but didn't make a difference in front of goal. It was industrious but not influential. For a forward attempting to climb Arne Slot's attacking hierarchy, industry alone rarely shifts perception. Slot, as noted, has long viewed him as a second or third choice option. Matches like this were designed to challenge that status. Instead, they have reinforced it. Transfer value and market reality. Liverpool's January stance was shaped by logistics rather than faith. A replacement could not be sourced in time, so Chiesa stayed. Summer will be different. Valuation sits between €15 million and €20 million, a fee influenced by his €7.5 million annual salary and long-term contract running until 2028. Suitors must invest in both transfer and wages. Interest from Juventus and West Ham surfaced in winter. A Serie A return currently appears the most plausible route, particularly given his desire to play, to feel like a key player. Italy future under scrutiny. International prospects add another layer. Italy boss Gennaro Gattuso is weighing selection decisions ahead of World Cup playoffs. Despite a recent London dinner involving Premier League-based Italians, inclusion is not guaranteed. Chiesa previously declined autumn call-ups, and for do-or-die matches, he needs motivated players, ready to give their all. Gattuso will judge both physical readiness and mental sharpness. A fully restored Chiesa remains, in the words of the report, an added asset to the national team. The question is whether that version reappears soon enough. Our view, Anfield Index analysis from a Liverpool supporter's perspective. This situation feels less like failure and more like misalignment. Chiesa arrived as a dynamic wide threat, direct, aggressive, emotionally charged. Instead, he has been used sparingly and sometimes out of position, including that false nine role against Brighton. Fans watching closely might argue he has never been granted the tactical ecosystem needed to thrive. Confidence players require rhythm, and rhythm demands minutes. 600 minutes scattered across cups and rotated lineups rarely builds authority. There is also the adaptation factor. Premier League tempo, physicality, and defensive structure differ sharply from Serie A. That said, Liverpool's forward line is evolving. If Chiesa cannot displace incumbents or reshape matches from the bench, the club's model dictates efficiency. Selling at €15 million to €20 million, reinvesting in a profile better suited to Slot's system, would be consistent with recent strategy. Bayern Munich chief praises Luis Diaz's agent for sealing Liverpool exit. Luis Diaz left Liverpool for German giants Bayern Munich last summer, with the Colombian bringing to an end a hugely successful spell at Anfield with his switch to the Allianz Arena. Bayern Munich chief Uli Hoeneß has claimed that Luis Diaz's agent gave everything to seal his move from Liverpool to Bayern Munich. The Colombian winger ended a successful spell on Merseyside in the summer. Bayern ended up paying £65.5 million for Diaz's services. He was among a host of first-team stars to leave the club. Darwin Núñez, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Jarell Quansah and Kevin Kelleher all among those to follow him out of the exit door. Hoeneß has since opened up on Diaz's move to Munich and has praised his agent for facilitating the switch. Speaking to Bild about agents in football, he said, Luis Diaz's agent, for instance, fought hard to get him from Liverpool, which was very difficult. He gave everything for his client and still always spoke fairly with Liverpool. We're happy to pay someone like that. Diaz has earned praise across his debut season in Bayern, having scored 19 goals and provided a further 15 assists in just 32 appearances in all competitions. Speaking about his performances, Bayern boss Vincent Kompany said, he had a short break in December, which was important for him at that moment. But then we had another stretch of 7 matches in 20 days in January. He has incredible energy. Lucho is a machine. There are tough moments at times, but he brings exactly the same intensity to training on Mondays. That's helped us tremendously this season. Hoeneß praise for Diaz's agent comes at the same time that he has criticized the representatives of Dayot Upamecano. The French defender is out of contract at the end of the season, with negotiations over a renewed deal having stalled. Speaking about the situation, Hoeneß said, do you know what's so disastrous about that? In Upamecano's case, the agents either wanted to drive up our price or push him to another club, and as a thank you, we were supposed to pay them a signing bonus. That's a contradiction in terms that we shouldn't tolerate any longer. He added, that word no will be heard more often in the future. We're all in agreement on that at the club. We might even put 1 or 2 agents, if they behave unfairly, on a list and tell them that we will no longer sign players they represent. That would be the next step. Bayern Munich are currently favorites to win the Bundesliga this season. They sit 6 points clear of force rivals Borussia Dortmund at the top of the table ahead of this weekend's clash versus Eintracht Frankfurt. Liverpool have 5 games to make Premier League statement as 2 players near return. The Liverpool squad will return to the AXA training center today after some well-earned rest and ahead of a key period for the Reds. Liverpool's players return to training today with perceptions and expectations having very much shifted since the start of the season. But there will now be renewed determination and belief among Arne Slot's charges. A difficult campaign clouded by uncertainty and disappointment can end with a silver lining. The Reds boss gave his squad several days off after they responded to the demoralizing late defeat against Manchester City 10 days ago with a hard-earned 1-0 Premier League triumph at Sunderland, followed by Saturday evening's 3-0 FA Cup 4th-round success at home to Brighton. It may well prove, if not a pivotal week in Liverpool's campaign, then certainly one of the most important given the examinations that still await. Evading the Champions League playoffs has given the Reds 2 free midweeks ahead of what could be a busy run-in towards the end of the season. Slot will hope rare extended time spent both away from the AXA training center to recharge batteries and then at Kirkby to work on fine-tuning tactics can be well spent. One matter surely on the agenda is the propensity to start games slowly that was again evident at the weekend. Remarkably, the Reds have still only scored once in the opening 30 minutes of any league game since September and none in the last 10. They've leaked 7 in the same time period, but only 2 have come since November. But that steady approach has proven beneficial, with Liverpool having lost only twice in 19 games in all competitions, with those 2 defeats coming deep into additional time. After 9 losses and 12 during the autumn, the Reds have become much harder to beat and, since the return of Mohamed Salah from the Africa Cup of Nations, are a much more potent threat going forward. There will continued focus on bringing Jeremy Frimpong back to full fitness to ease the issues at right back, while ramping up Alexander Isak's rehabilitation. The £125 million striker would have envisaged matters having gone differently during his debut Anfield campaign, but can yet become a welcome attacking option when the schedule intensifies next month. Liverpool have at least 15 games remaining. They will hope it is much nearer 23, given that total would mean progress to the finals of both the FA Cup and Champions League. While the Reds will only discover on Friday week which of their 4 possible opponents, Juventus, Galatasaray, Atletico Madrid and Club Brugge, they will face in next month's Champions League round of 16. They know Wolves must be overcome in the FA Cup fifth round ahead of those two ties just a few days after a Tuesday Premier League visit to Molineux. That forms one of 6 away trips in the top flight that starts on Sunday with a clash at Nottingham Forest, whose 3-0 victory at Anfield in November was the nadir for Liverpool this season. Indeed, Slot is yet to beat Forest as Reds boss. In a quirk of the fixture list, all 6 remaining home games are against London sides: West Ham United, Tottenham Hotspur, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, and, on the final weekend, Brentford. 3 of Liverpool's last 4 games in May come against the teams immediately above them in the table, with the Anfield clash against Chelsea sandwiched by trips to Manchester United and Aston Villa. The challenge now is to ensure those matches count in the battle for Champions League qualification. And with all 5 of their Premier League games between now and the late March international break coming against teams currently in the bottom 7, Liverpool can give themselves the platform for the final push. Tortuous and desperate it may have been at times, but this season is far from over for Slot and his players.